Welcome back, everybody, to the Words from the Nerds podcast with your host, Aiden, your co-host, your wonderful two co-hosts, Ben and Charlie. You know, it's always just whoever's hosting the episode gets to have the honor of calling themselves the host for the week. So that is fallen upon me. Welcome back to another episode. Got a lot to get into today on the agenda. Stranger Things, got some Pluribus, Zootopia 2, Wake Up Deadman, what we've watched, things of that sort. Should be a fun discussion. I'm excited to get into all of this. Show some love, throw some likes in there. That'd be awesome. Throw some subs. And if you comment, which we highly encourage that you do comment, we will read it out loud on the next episode. You could say a slur. It doesn't matter, baby. We're reading it live on the next episode. And
hold up, commenting a slur real quick.
All right, let's go. We got one over here from Charlie. All right. Speaking of comments, we got two comments. First one coming from our boy B Woody, Brandon Woodworth, the absolute GOAT. I guess he'd be my brother-in-law, right? Anyways, Brandon comments. Ben, I got the chance to see Frankenstein in theaters. That movie should have been played in more theaters. But also, I've been on Aiden's case about watching it for weeks. And that is true. He was actually mad that I told you, all right, you sold me. I'll consider watching it now. He's like, you fucker, I've been telling you to watch it for weeks. So still haven't watched it. So if that makes both of y'all feel happy. So
dude, I was hoping you were going to say that you have.
I'll get to it. I promise. Thank you, Brandon, as always, for the wonderful comment. And also, I mean, I told him this in person, but thank you, Brandon, for also, he's been giving me a lot of like nice tips and like maybe things to play around with when it comes to the draft. So he's very locked in on seeing how that goes. Dude, we're 5 weeks away from doing our draft episode. Like,
I think we're gonna need some sort of a way that we can vet the no cheating process for the 2026 draft. We can't have Brandon
No, if I
win, giving you comps.
Here's my thing. Crazy. If I want to draft a list that I will win at the end of the year, I want to win based on I picked these movies and I picked these shows. I had no outside interference. So you can rest assured that we're chilling on that end. But he's been I say tips as in like a format and how we can format it next year. So I thank him for that. We're 5 weeks away, maybe 6 weeks away from doing our draft. That flew, bro. Like a lot of things have happened.
Really
we've gotten very busy, but like I just think back to whenever Invincible and Daredevil was coming out, and we were like, "Oh, I can't wait till next year." Like I was already saying, "I can't wait till next year. It's gonna be fun." So we're very close to doing our second annual draft, Rotten Tomatoes draft. So that'll be very fun. Thank you, Brandon, for the comment. And then we got one other comment from the boy Memish. Mandem, is that how you say it? Memish? Mandem's hype over there on the other side of the pond. What did you guys think of Stranger Things? # best podcast ever. If this ends perfectly, best show ever. I don't care. Got some bold takes in there. I respect it, Memish. I respect it. And to answer that question, I think we get into what we thought about Stranger Things. So we got the first volume this past week, right before Thanksgiving. They're doing this really nice, stylish way of like, hey, we're going to have people talking about it during Thanksgiving, talk about it during Christmas, and then New Year's Eve, we're dropping our finale. I mean, even today at work, this girl was like, who's watched Stranger Things? I was like, I did. So we just sat there for like an hour just talking about Stranger Things. So it was super chill. They know what they're doing. They got a nice little agenda, but we got the first volume, the first 4 episodes, and we will get into it. Stranger Things Volume 1. What did we think? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Look at us! Look at us! Yeah! We're locked in. Oh my gosh!
That's a first ever, right?
Probably.
I think it has to be, bro.
Double thumbs up for all 3 of us. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
First time ever. Dude, let's go. Who wants to take us away? I have a lot of thoughts. And real quick, I'll just say, because Charlie, I know how things have been said in the past. Never been the biggest Stranger Things guy. Sure. So I specifically had my eye on you when we did our scores. I've also been thinking about you a lot throughout the show, just because I'm like, picking up on a lot of things, and I'll touch on it later, but I don't want to just go straight into my thoughts. But I kept my eye on you because I know I know Charley, how the agenda's been. So
I will say, as I might have mentioned a little bit before with my rewatch of season 4, season 4 is really damn good, man. Really damn good stuff. You know, a little bit of a jump ahead, I guess, to my actual thoughts of season 5 so far, but it made me go back and watch an episode of my least favorite season, season 2. So nice. I'll give it that much credit. But nah, man, these first 4 episodes, I was in pretty much the entire time. I love everything that's happening with all the characters, i.e. Dustin and Steve, and like their relationship and how that's being tested and everything. I know there's a lot of conversation about that and a lot of people not liking how that turned out, but it makes so much sense for where they are in their lives, specifically Dustin more so than Steve. But
well, we know what they're teeing up, right?
Sure, yeah.
We know that their team. I think there was a specific line where Dustin's over the radio and he's like, "I can't always be there to solve your problems, Steve." And I'm like, yeah, I know, I can see what they're doing.
That moment, I turned my head to Brandon and I was like, "They're doing it, dude." I was like, "Dang it."
And even I don't know how much are we wanting to get into this right off the rip right now.
Spoilers. What are you thinking? I mean, I think I
can play it. I can
pass by. Let's give our ratings, and then let's hop into it.
Overall, I mean, it was super enjoyable. I had to force myself to savor it. I think my fiance, she was a little bit upset with me. She wanted to continue watching it, and I had to I stopped us after one episode, and then we waited a day and watched the 2 episodes, and then we waited another day and watched the finale. But I think if I had to give the volume 1 a score, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, probably 8.5 maybe.
I respect it.
Really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Yeah. I mean, I have a couple quarrels, but I feel like they're quarrels that maybe I just don't understand the lore of the show very much, and maybe you guys could shed light on it. But
yeah,
and a little bit of a small thing that has to do with the play. Apparently, there's a play, and so
I kind of had a really cool Wednesday, so I was just I kind of make my own schedule per se. So I had the option of just I went and did some stuff in the morning, and I took the rest of the day off because I was like, all right, got Zootopia at 7. And then after Zootopia, me and my wife went to Brandon's, and then we watched the first 2 episodes of Stranger Things, and then woke up the next morning for Thanksgiving. And then me and Maddie finished watching it the rest of the day, Thanksgiving. So it was a really cool, all week I was just Zootopia and Stranger Things on Wednesday. I'm so hyped. Let's go. So yeah, sitting down watching it. I mean, we talked about it before. Look, there might be moments throughout the show where I feel like maybe I've outgrown the show, right? Some of the dialogue I've outgrown. I'll just put it like that, right? But nothing will ever change the fact that it's Stranger Things. And it's what we talked about a couple months ago leading up to the show. It's look, whether this is good or bad, it's going to be fun to just be in that Stranger Things piece of time, like it was in 2022, like it was in 2019. It's always just something that's so nostalgic and that you can appreciate when you look back on it. And that's exactly what this show brings out of me every episode. I mean, by the end of the first episode, I was like, damn, dude, I missed it. I forgot just how they could hook you in and then just leave you on a cliffhanger. Charley, I don't know how you waited a day in between. I mean, I just wanted to be on go mode.
Sure.
But that they excel at that, right? They excel at just making you want more. Even after the episode ended, the 4th one, I was genuinely heated that I couldn't just watch the next 3. So regardless of any little quirks I have with it, any little dialogue issues or like, corny moments I have with it, it is always going to be Stranger Things. And they have revived the feeling. They've made me remember like they can get in their bag for like badass moments and like get me over here like hyped up and like damn near tearing up. Like it's just what they excel at. And so it's so much fun to be back in that moment, back in that era of time. And yeah, I mean, I obviously have my complaints, but I always liken it back to, it's when it's strong, it's very, very strong. And they have such a high ceiling. And I can always appreciate the show for that. So I think the first 2 episodes are a little slow. They're not my favorite, but 3 and 4 are like absolute 9s. So I'm at like an 8.5 also for volume 1. I was a little worried about the Rotten Tomatoes scores when they dropped, because I was in Zootopia when the first 4 episodes dropped. I was like getting ready for the movie. I was like, oh shit. But after it, I'm like, there was really no reason to be scared. I'm right there, but I still love it as much as I do. So, I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, I'm locked the heck in for volume 2. Yeah, I mean, they're reviving that feeling like we said they would. So they're back at it. Whoa, what? What the hell is that?
Wait. I had to try that. I saw it.
Where'd you get the soundboard?
All right,
it's on the media tab. We should have done that before our thumbs up.
Wait, that's great.
Then there's background music.
Welcome
Bro, forgot we were recording.
To Benja Movies.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Throwback. Yeah, man. I gotta say that there's something that really bothered me with their approach to like starting off this season, and we'll talk about that when we dive into spoilers. But by the time I got through a couple more episodes, it of course suckered me back in, and I was absolutely loving it. I have a couple of like character issues and specific annoyances, kind of akin to what Aiden was talking about with some of the dialogue stuff and whatnot. Those things have been apparent for a couple of seasons or with specific characters where I've always just found them to be a bit annoying or whatever it may be. But other than that, yeah, of course I'm hooked. Of course I'm in. Of course, the end of episode 4 had me going crazy. And this show specifically, I think over the years has meant more to me because I remember watching season 4 with my friends a couple of years ago. And then in recent years, whenever we watch a movie or a TV show together, we always assign characters to each person in our friend group. So we all have been characters since everybody's been rewatching some of the seasons. And so we've all been assigned characters. So my friend John is Mike, and you guys wouldn't know anybody else, but my character
are you
is
Will? Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
I'm Will. Yeah.
Yo, keep an eye on you and John, bro.
Dude, so funny enough, we had this joke that we've been leaning into a little bit because we like to, have little bits that we set up and bring up little inside jokes and whatnot. And so one of the things as they've been rewatching is they've been just like, bro, it's so obvious that like Will is totally into Mike. And so then a bit that we've been leaning into is that there's a fake contract out there that says that if Will and Mike kiss in this season, that John and I have to kiss. And so every time we talk about it, we just mention that there's this fake contract and the contract's been amended. And
Charley, let's do the same thing, bro.
Thank you. Write it up, bro. Write up the contract. I'll e-sign it, bro.
Every time that we, I'll be a witness. Every time that we're together or talk about it or whatever, that's always the joke, is we always reference the contract. And one of our other friends will mention like, well, what happens if you guys aren't watching the episode together and it happens? And we're like, did you not read Amendment 3 of the contract that outline? Like we're always leaning into the bit and just talking about it because that's always fun to do. But that's been a fun part of this show, and especially this season. Because the truth is that I was assigned Will very early on because none of my friends liked Will as a character.
Oh, nice.
So,
wait, what? Does that mean they know? Come on, bro. Why they want you to be Will then? We all hate Will. We want you to be Will, man. Like, what the fuck?
I either get
last pick.
So I don't live with my friends anymore. So most of the time they just pick characters for me. And they always go to either the most dislikable character or the characters that they know are going to die. Like genuinely, we will rewatch movies and then we'll see a character and we're like, oh, we know that they're gonna die, and they'll be like, Ben, that's you. It's like,
oh damn.
So I don't get as much of a say. So I didn't get Will by choice. I got Will because they didn't like him earlier in the show. Anyways,
well, there you go. Now you're about to be like the most OP, like badass.
Notice he said earlier in the show. Yeah, notice he said earlier in the show because that changed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But I'm right with you guys. I would have said 8.5 for this volume. Like I said, I have a big problem with something early on in this season that still kind of confuses me. But by the time we get through, 5 hours of Stranger Things, of course I'm back in. I'm fully in.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, I mean, it's what we've talked about. It's what we've talked about leading up to the season. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your official spoiler warning. We are going to get into spoilers of Volume 1. We're going to theorize about Volume 2 and the end of the show. We might even do like a little quick 2-pick draft of who we think will die this season, and whoever's closest, gets bragging rights. So whoever's correct or closest. So this is your official spoiler warning. You have been warned. It is free game from here on out. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'll start because I was just talking. I remember a couple years ago, the end of season 4, and I was like, holy crap, what is going to happen next? It's this huge finale moment with the splitting open of Hawkins, and it blew me away because it's like, I don't know where they go from here. And now that we've gotten season 5, I don't know if they knew where they were going from there, because the cover-up job that they did to just make it so that basically like it happened, but it has literally zero effect on anything, seems like completely out of left field. Like the end of season 4 seemed like they were teeing something up that they had thought out, had planned. They were prepping us for something big. And then we get season 5 and it's like, oh yeah, that thing that happened. Yeah, we covered it up and everything's fine. Like nothing happened. No Demogorgons got loose. No Demodogs got loose. Like literally nothing actually bad happened other than obviously Hawkins split open and then they were able to repair it. And that's it. And obviously, like I said, once I got a couple episodes in and you just like buy that fact, then of course I'm just like, I'm in. But it seemed like a weird creative choice that like, it almost seems like they maybe didn't fully know everything that they needed to do in this season, whether it comes to like explaining the Upside Down, how Will ties into it, 11, now 11's sister. Maybe they didn't have all of those pieces together. And so now that they do, it required them kind of ignoring that and not focusing too long on it. But either way, it feels like there was a misstep somewhere. It almost feels like they wanted that to be the really big ending to leave you off on a crazy cliffhanger from season 4. But that was all it was. It was, here's this crazy ending. And it doesn't actually lead to anything. That's kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I'd agree. Part of me also wishes that maybe they just didn't do that ending in the first place for season 4 for different reasons. And you might not agree, but one of the things I felt immediately was a big reason why I love season 4, and honestly why I loved past like the entire show, is the, you know, going to school, dealing with like the small stuff outside of this, but also dealing with the big things like the Upside Down, Demogorgons, Demodogs, Mind Flayer, whatever it may be. But also dealing with, you know, school issues or like friend group issues, you know, those moments of them just being friends and getting to see that mix in a little bit as well. In this season, we don't get any of that. Like they try to do some like, hey, we're on lockdown, but people can still go to school, but we're just going to do that for the first little bit of episode 1. And then that's pretty much out the door. Like they have to be careful. They can't like hardly be seen in public with each other. Like it's just very weird. And it starts you off in a very weird feeling. And I wasn't the biggest fan of that because one of the things I love is, you know, seeing, I almost called him by his name, seeing Lucas on the basketball team and like having to struggle, wanting to be accepted by jocks, wanting to be with his friends. Like we get to see those cool dynamics and a lot of those storylines get played out away from the major things going on. And, you know, everything with Billy and Max in season 2, or was it season 2 or 3? When she first gets introduced and all of her like struggles. Yes. So a lot of that is missing, which I feel like is a crucial element to the show. In my opinion, like it's one of the things that I look forward to and that I like to see be played around with in this show. And the fact that that's just completely gone because of this like post-apocalyptic Hawkins that we have, that's also not consequential at all. It was literally just there for like cliffhanger moments. That is like one of my biggest problems with the beginning. So part of me wishes they just didn't do any of that at all. Have your little like, we beat Vecna, oh, something's lingering in the background. Face the criticism for that for season 4, and then do whatever you're going to do with season 5 and just pick up there. But I think having a cheap cliffhanger sacrificed a lot of really cool plot points and plot devices that I usually like seeing in the show.
I just think like they have a moment towards the end of season 4 in the finale where Will feels his spider senses tingling, and it's like tie that into some sort of like tease for the Upside Down for what we're setting up in season 5. Just do something as simple as that. But like I said, all of it just points to the fact that like this wasn't planned out thoroughly and thought of years ago with season 4.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you guys are saying about that for sure. That plays a role into why I had to give it an 8 instead of a higher score. But some other things for me, maybe this is considered a CinemaSins thing. I don't know. I personally wouldn't put it in that level, but maybe. But this is one of those things where I don't have the information. Maybe you guys do. So in rewatching it in season 4, when they're showing us Henry as a child, I'm pretty sure Papa finds him right after he does the whole thing with his parents and or his family, his whole entire family. And so then are we led to believe that at that point, Papa like takes him in and starts experimenting on him right for the rest of his life, I would assume? Because then how do we get to a memory of him in high school with Joyce doing a play? Like when did he get to be a normal person? You know, like I thought he was raised in a laboratory after Papa found out about his powers.
What I was seeing online was that we're meant to believe that whenever he's taken by Papa, he is like 15 years old at that time. Like they're expecting us to believe that he's like 14 or 15 years old. So he's already gotten most of like, you know, everything that they're going to do with like Joyce and everything that they touched on with the play. All of that stuff happens, and then everything happens that we see in the show, and then Papa takes him, and that's it for the rest of. That's what I'm seeing people think, and
so he doesn't kill his family until he's a teenager.
Yes,
that's the idea. Okay.
Yes, like that. The idea is when we see him do all that, he's 14, 15 years old. He's already like done everything that happens in the play, and then he gets taken, and the canon stays untouched. The thing that I have an issue with is I'm like, And I wish I could just have somebody break this entire play down to me, which I've seen plenty of videos, so I don't know if I necessarily need it. I maybe just don't really like it. And that is after season 4 comes out and then this play happens, if they are just completely rewriting what we saw in season 4 for the sake of making this play and saying, hey, it's canon, so buy tickets to this, or there's a reason for us making this. And now that's tying in so much to season 5 that we're having questions like, hey, you expect me to believe this kid went to high school and then killed his family? And then like, I have this all messed up now for the sake of just making the play and saying it's canon so that I don't like you have a reason to make it.
There's also the aspect when it comes to the play too, and I hesitate on saying this part just because it's potential future spoiler for season 5 for those who have not seen the play. But it pertains to, and I'll try to be vague and maybe Aiden will know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It pertains to what when Vecna first gets into the Upside Down and he comes across the Mind Flayer. And then in season 4, it seems like it's conveyed to us that he took control of the Mind Flayer. He harnessed the Mind Flayer, and the Mind Flayer does his bidding. And unless I'm wrong, that's what I got from it in the show.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that. Yeah, I would let Ben.
There was a specific line that was said in season 4 about Vecna, saying that Vecna is basically the 5-star general of the Upside Down.
Yeah, there was a line about that. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm led to believe that Vecna is not the big bad who's ultimately behind everything that's happening. Obviously, he's like the villain that we're facing the most in a practical sense. But like, if you take him out, there is still something inherent about the Upside Down, something that is a deeper evil that is lurking within there.
Okay. So if that's the understanding that a lot of other people have, then I won't hesitate anymore than with continuing it. Because according the play does a much better job, apparently, of conveying that idea that the Mind Flayer is the one in true control. And so, with that being said, if that's the route that they're going down with season 5, and we're going to come to that realization, or we already know it and it's just creeping in the background this whole time, do we worry about how that gets handled? Like, we're focusing so much on Vecna that the Mind Flayer or whoever the really big bad is just so much of an afterthought that is it going to seem thrown together, just a really half thought out, especially with our worry of like how they handled the end of season 4 going into season 5. Clearly, like, they were just flying by the seat of their pants, and not doing great follow through with that. Do we think that that's a possibility here too? Actually, no. Obviously, there's a possibility of it, but do we think that that is likely? Do we think that like they have their ducks in a row? Vecna will be a main part, because I do think that they've put so much into him. He has to be a main part of the season. But in order to wrap this whole thing up, I feel like we also have to focus on the big bad being the Mind Flayer or whoever.
I feel like, real quick, I just want to say, I feel like seasons 4 and 5 are a completely different show than what 1, 2, and 3 were. I feel like 1, 2, and 3, maybe they had their ducks in a row. Maybe even 2 and 3 they did after season 1, but you kind of had that flexibility there. I think 4 and 5 is where they completely were just like, okay, we need to take this up one more level. How do we do that? Where can we go from here? They introduce Vecna. They do everything that they did in season 4, build on that in season 5. And I think now it's just a matter of, okay, now let's tie this back to the beginning by using the Mind Flayer. And, then it seems like it's one big cohesive story, right? Like, hey, Vecna wasn't the big bad controlling everything. It's always been the Mind Flayer. And, we even said that in season 4.
Sure.
It's like, I feel like they just kind of threw Vecna in there as like, hey, let's get this like threat, like this, like this Darth Vader type of figure. But in reality, it's Palpatine. Hey, we've shown you the whole time it's been Palpatine.
Which
is, and I think that started after season 3.
Sure. It's also very weird to me though that like the Mind Flayer did season 1, season 2, season 3 all itself, and then all of a sudden decides to call on Vecna. But then Vecna's motivations in season 4 seem very personal. They like he specifically like he seemed like especially connecting it to season 3. In fact, actually, the Mind Flayer is very much after 11. Very much after 11 and whatever she can do and wants to hurt her in some way. So then we get to season 4 and we see the personal connection that Vecna and 11 had. And so that leads you to believe that Vecna is maybe a larger part of this whole thing than even we realize. And so I guess I just don't understand why, and Ben, you're about to say something, so I'll let you get to it. But I just don't understand, maybe because Vecna has those powers, but why don't we send Vecna at the beginning? Like, why? I know that we're retroactively, like, we're looking at it with rose-colored glasses or 20/20 vision, hindsight, yada yada yada. But it seems a weird plan that if it really is somebody else and it's not Vecna, that seems like a weird way to go about things.
So this explanation kind of puts like a lot of things into context and pieces it together, and is also some just like theory that I have or have seen people talk about. So my understanding is that the Upside Down was created at some point. We'll learn about the actual origin of it. It's been confirmed that we'll learn the origin of it, but we're pretty sure that the origin of the Upside Down happened in the Hawkins laboratory when they were doing experiments. That is where the Upside Down was actually created, and it had something to do with Vecna or whatever. Or there was, the Upside Down, maybe there was this other evil entity, and we don't know how that fits together. But either way, we think that it was created in the Hawkins laboratory. And then not long after that is where you get the events of season 1, where Will is taken, which we find out was Vecna. It was Vecna who met him in the Upside Down and was the first one that gave Will this connection to the Mind Flayer and just the Upside Down in general. And later we learn he's tethered to whatever this hive mind is. So I think Vecna has been involved in some capacity. I don't know that there's an exact, like, can't give like a specific reason why he wouldn't have been in season 3, other than kind of what Aiden said, which was like they didn't have Vecna in the picture. But when they probably thought about seasons 4 and 5, it was, okay, we need to piece this all together. And so adding this character not only allows you to better explain the lore of the Hawkins laboratory and everything starting with the Upside Down, but that also then connects some of the threads of everything that's happened throughout the seasons. I think ultimately that is the reason. But do I see it piecing together where it makes sense, where Vecna was there from the beginning and is serving the hive mind, which is the Mind Flayer, who is trying to grow in strength? I do see it being, I can see it being the case. Did they lay it out as clearly as they could have? Definitely not. I do wonder, like, at what point in the Duffer Brothers writing the show, I wonder at what point they sat down and said, okay, what is the Upside Down? What is the origin? When did it start? I think they might have had some of those answers early on at the very beginning, like with Hawkins Laboratory. I think like that, they probably had that thought of. But how everything pieces together, they definitely didn't. I mean, they've talked in behind the scenes videos for season 5 saying, we've always known that Will has been tied to the hive mind, so we thought, why not explore if he could tap into it? That's just something they thought of when writing the season. Like that was never the plan all along. And then the final thing I'll say is this ultimate thing of like, what is the Mind Flayer? Is it in control of everything? What's its purpose? Why is it targeting who it's targeting? I think it's targeting who it's targeting simply based on location, because its origin is in Hawkins and it's looking for vessels to use to grow in strength. We still don't know like what that exactly means, vessels, because like We saw Holly Wheeler and a couple of other characters that were kind of in the hive mind, all in the Upside Down. So we don't know exactly like what that means, but in my head I think like maybe because 11 and then her sister were both also a part of the experiments that happened at Hawkins' lab, they're some of the only people in the world who are strong enough to combat the Mind Flayer and the Upside Down and Vecna and whatnot. So I think some of just like the random people who have gotten kidnapped or killed off is just kind of unlucky. You live in Hawkins. But then some of the targeting of like 11 is specific to like Vecna being part of the creation of the Upside Down, being one. And so part of his mission is to get rid of those who would be a threat, which would be a very limited number of people. Only those who have powers and were experimented on like he was. So I know that was a lot, but that's like, I think we'll get more answers, but I don't think it's that far fetched. And I think that they can justify having a larger villain depending on the explanation of what the Upside Down is. I definitely don't think it's Vecna though. Like, I think that's just thinking of like, oh, the Upside Down happened and Vecna was patient one. It's like, I don't think he's the best. I think he's kind of the unfortunate necessary evil just because he was involved in the creation of the Upside Down.
Sure.
I definitely think we're also on a journey of him being kind of like the neutral evil of everything. I even see a scenario where maybe Vecna helps them take down the Mind Flayer. I mean, they're already playing with the idea of him having his little good guy turn with everything in the cave, and obviously bringing that play into canon. They're also showing like Dr. K and everything. Like, hey, don't forget, these are the actual bad guys. These people in the Mind Flayer. Vecna's just kind of the ends justify the means, or the means justify the end, whatever the saying is. I could see a scenario where we're even in store for that. So don't be too surprised if we see like a Vecna face turn, or a Vecna sacrificing himself to help the kids defeat the Mind Flayer or something. Just for the sake of circling it back to the Mind Flayer being the big bad and Vecna being the innocent bystander that's misunderstood.
I don't see them doing that because I think Vecna's survival is dependent on the Upside Down at this point. Like, he's reliant on the Mind Flayer or whatever to live. So,
but how much does he like that? How much of that, like, I don't know.
The way he was just like sliming all the soldiers, I think I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but like, I don't know. I see a scenario where that's where we're headed. They're already playing with the whole, oh, he was traumatized by this cave, and like, oh, he has feelings. I don't know. I could see that being in the cards. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Sure. I won't like it if they do that. Just because, like, I get it, he has feelings and everything, but like, there's so much vitriol and hate for him. Like, everybody wants him dead. Like, none of these characters are gonna sit here like, yeah, wow. In the end, he did a good thing. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
But speaking of the hive mind and being reliant on the Upside Down for survival and everything like that. Not that Will's reliant on it, but this one's more of a CinemaSins thing for sure. Why was so Will was getting hurt when all the Demogorgons were getting hurt? How come he just bodied 3 of them and he's fine? He's bodied 3. He himself killed 3 of them, and it didn't hurt him at all, other than like the bloody nose crap, which every superpowered person has.
I'm wondering if it's because he's just channeling, like in that moment, he's channeling Vecna, so that kind of detaches him from his whole like being in the mind of the Demogorgons. Like at this point, he's channeling Vecna's powers. He's feeling what Vecna's feeling. I don't know. That's the way I was looking at it.
I think like when he was tapping into the hive mind without trying to, and he was like feeling their pain or could feel that they were close, I think that was it. Like he didn't understand what it meant to be tapped into the hive mind. And I think like the moment where he has his lock-in moment in the final episode, it's going beyond just like, oh, I'm tapped into the hive mind, so I'm feeling their pain. It's now, no, I can feel in control. I can be in control. So that's how I justify it. But like, it's never clearly stated. I don't know.
Sure. Another thing, he's got to be more powerful than Vecna in that scenario. I feel like, right? Because like he from across town controlled 3 different Demogorgons and did the Vecna just like body destroying thing to all 3 of them at the same time. And like, sure, he collapsed afterwards and seemed relatively exhausted. He had the bloody nose thing, which I gotta say, little nitpick of mine. I'm so tired of the bloody nose shit, bro. Really? Like when 11 does the smallest thing, when she does she'll move a fucking water bottle across the room, and then she gotta wipe the fucking blood away. I thought you were supposed to be. The whole point of season 4 is you're more powerful now. Like, all right, that was one of the things he said. I'll get your powers back, and I think they'll be even stronger than before. Come on, bro. Quit wiping the blood away.
You just reminded me of the whole like not having my powers arc that she went on. Bad. I'm not gonna lie, bad, bro. You can't lie though. His had aura, bro. Like, come on.
No, absolutely, bro.
Aura.
Bro, okay, it was fucking fantastic. Nah, bro, he was. I rewatched it like 4 times. I love that, bro. He's just over these, and then the other arm just comes up. And, oh my gosh,
dude,
so far.
What would he have done if there was a 4th Demogorgon?
All right, man. All right.
The dick. His dick.
I hit the dick.
Any final thoughts?
No, I have a couple of small things.
Yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say something about what Charlie just said. Oh, him being more powerful than Vecna. I mean, I think in context, I actually think that Vecna wanted that to happen. Like he let Will.
He was antagonizing him. Yeah,
he antagonized him, and then he dipped. But there was still the threat of the Demogorgons, and so I think Vecna's ultimate play was kind of priming him up to be like, "Hey, I'm dipping, but lock in." So
I guess you're too weak, buddy, and yours is one of them.
I guess there is a world where they could use that as like, oh, Vecna's trying to like push Will to see how powerful he is so they can take down the Mind Flayer. If they use that, I'm with you, Charlie. I don't want them to do some like Vecna Henry Creel redemption arc. I don't want that at all. But
I don't either, but I feel like they're priming it up for that, and that's what scares me.
I didn't think that you were saying you want it, but for sure. I mean, that's like the Disney Channel way to end this shit, bro. It's like
yeah. Couple of small things. The Wheeler parents, they should have just been
dead. Sure.
Like
it definitely calls to like their inability to actually kill off anybody of any like somewhat importance. Like they'll kill Eddie, a brand new character for the season. They'll kill the guy from season 3, et cetera, et cetera.
But like I understand that the Demogorgon was going against my goat, Ted Walking Down Wheeler. And so
I actually hate Ted with a passion, bro. On this rewatch, like I'm sorry, bro. When we started season 3 and then it was Mrs. Wheeler was like about to cheat on him, I was like, damn, the hell's wrong with you? That's crazy. After 3 episodes later, I was like, I wish she cheated on him. I fucking hate Ted, bro. He's always there. He's reading the newspaper. When the fuck are these kids getting out of my fucking house? Like, shut the fuck up, Ted. Go hit some golf, buddy. Holy shit,
bro. Okay,
I hate Ted.
So here's my thing.
I hate no reason, Karen, bro.
I have no reason.
That's Mrs. Wheeler, right? Is that her name?
Yeah,
Karen.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I have no reason to like Ted, but I've been seeing so many Stranger Things edits in the last week, and the 2 that I have seen the most are edits for Delightful Derek and Ted walk him down Wheeler. And I'm fully in on the meme of like just crazy edits of these two characters, and then
walk them down.
No,
Karen stabbed the shit out of the damn thing.
The best one, do? The absolute best one is Nancy walk him down Wheeler, bro. Those from season 4. Oh my God, bro! Like nothing in this show will ever top Nancy walk him down Wheeler and her with her guns and like, bro.
There's edits of Ted Wheeler if he had gotten his serving of bacon, like stuff like that.
Oh my God!
Dude, I live for the meme.
It's been fun, but no, I agree. Like to start off the episode like that. And really all the purpose that it served to keep them alive was a little bit of character moments with like Nancy dealing with it so that Steve and Jonathan can bicker with each other. And then for Karen to write down the name Henry, which in reality, like they could have just written a different way that Holly either left a note or Karen left a note or whatever. They could have found the name Henry some other way at the Wheeler house. But in my opinion, to have a Demogorgon knock them down like that, walk them down, literally, and like they should just die. Like we have seen characters just get off so easily, and yet the Wheeler parents are fine. Like I thought Ted, bro, I thought his like heart was showing. He got sliced open.
Dude, it's same with Karen, bro. Yeah, I thought Karen was like gone, bro.
And my thing is, so far, there has been no reason that we kept them alive. There was no reason to do that.
Well,
it's just it's
Lucas says there's a reason why Vecna didn't allow that Demogorgon to just like completely slaughter them. Like he kept them alive for a reason because he could have easily left them all sitting there like dead for Nancy and Mike to like, or Nancy and Eleven to go find them. So I'd maybe pause on that. I know for sure there's a reason he took Holly. Like that's what we're building up to. But even then, him saying there's a reason that the parents were kept alive too, I don't know. But I do agree. That doesn't take away from me not agreeing with. The way I see it is I feel like they kept the parents alive to take them out of the picture. And if their parents would have died, I mean, that kind of fucks up all of Nancy and Mike throughout the rest of the season. Like, I don't know. I feel like there would have been a conversation of, oh, your parents just died and like you're over here doing this or you're over here like making jokes. So I think for the sake of like, hey, let's get them out of the picture, but like we also can't kill them because that would kind of F up the character arcs. Again, it's them riding themselves in a hole at the end of the day. But yeah.
I do also want to say that I feel like this something we haven't said yet, and maybe you guys don't feel this, but I do. It does seem to be just sort of like a almost. This is putting it really harshly, and it's not 1-to-1, but it does just seem kind of like a retread of season 4, like the plot lines specifically of Vecna choosing people and killing them, but this time Vecna's choosing people, kids, and taking them, and then now they're just having to, instead of stop him from killing them, stop him from taking them. So like that's very bare bones, but I do think that they're doing a good job of like differentiating it and like adding more things that make it different again, as I said, but more important and more enjoyable, I guess, to not make it seem so similar to season 4. I point to like Dustin and his depression over Eddie, and
yeah.
John, maybe they're not really doing a lot with Jonathan. There's like hints of obviously whatever's going to happen with him and Nancy, but and then Hopper and everything that he's got.
Have
going
you heard
on
the theory on that?
What with the ring, and then that's for? Is it for? I've heard the ring one, but it's not for him. Yeah. That's the one I've heard.
That's where I thought you were going.
What do you mean it's not for him?
The theory is that he got it for Hopper and Joyce, for Hopper to give to Joyce, right, Aiden?
He's holding it. He's holding the ring for Hopper to give to Joyce.
Yeah, because there's something about the number 37. It's always been popping up, yada yada, throughout Hopper and Joyce's stuff throughout all the seasons. And on that episode, which just happened to be the where the ring shows up, which just happens to be the 37th episode of the show. And at 37 minutes and 37 seconds is when they show the ring. And so,
yeah,
I don't know.
People are thinking it's for Joyce. He's holding it for Hopper to give to Joyce.
I've heard a couple.
But then what is Murray like talking to Jonathan about though? Like Murray's telling him like, you got to do this. Like
that's
this is the perfect time to do this.
That's where I get hung up. Yeah.
Something that I heard that I like, which I don't know if they're going to have the time to be able to do this just because of how like Vecna's curse works. But like somebody said, what if Vecna gets to Nancy and then when trying to grab music, Steve like opens that one and sees the ring, and then like he sacrifices himself because he realizes like, oh, Jonathan is serious, so he's going to do the right thing. And out of a care for Nancy, Steve sacrifices himself to save her and let her be with Jonathan. I've heard that one.
Oh wow.
I think
I don't like that just because of what Steve just said to him in like one of the most recent episodes, where he's like, the only one more miserable in this relationship than you is Nance. And so like, if he's just like, he sees a ring, he's like, I know Nance is miserable, but I'm gonna sacrifice myself. She can have all that. And that's like, I don't know, but
yeah. And I think it's more likely that Steve dies and sacrifices himself for Dustin.
Dude, I'm gonna hate that.
I just think it is.
That's gonna suck. Yeah. We talked about this like 3 years ago. Holy shit, we did an episode on season 4, and we talked about it. Like, it's not gonna be. That's not gonna be fun. Any final thoughts?
Last little thing. I know that we cringe at some of the dialogue, but a character that I just like find really annoying most of the time is Robin. Bro.
Robin.
Oh my God. Like when Will and his mother
character assassination. Yep.
Yeah.
When Will and
homophobia goes crazy Joyce, on this podcast chat.
That's crazy.
Crazy, bro.
When Will and his mom are talking and they're having like a really intimate moment, and then Robin's like, oh, special family moment, fuses, I'll go.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
No,
I'm sorry.
I was thinking about her moment of like telling Will the thing about like finding out who you were there, which we didn't talk about that scene fully. I have to say that scene, apart from just the aura, fantastically it was so fucking good, man. It was so damn good. I love that. You know what that scene.
You know what it reminded me of that I want to go back and watch so bad, because I forgot how amazing this moment was in season 4. Was the whole running up that hill and Max running and
it's really
jumping through the thing. Oh my God, that might still be like my favorite moment in this entire show, is that Max running through the to get away from Vecna.
Bro, where was that? How was she not pumping the gas when she was at the hospital? She saw the portal and hit the brake.
She just stood there.
Yeah. I'd be interested in to see. I really want her to come back with the crew. I feel like it doesn't feel the same without her. It also just like, man, splitting everybody up, and I feel like every episode is like this person's arc cliffhanger, this person's cliffhanger, this person's cliffhanger, back to the first person's finishing up, back to the other person's. And it frustrates me sometimes. It's not the biggest deal, but it frustrates me.
I do agree with you, especially because it's the final season. But I will say the show has always sort of been like that. Like,
has it though? Or was it just season 4? Well, because Russia and California,
even besides season 4, season 3, Joyce and Hopper were off doing their own thing, and then the kids were slowly figuring things out about Billy by themselves, and then Steve, Dustin, and Robin, and Lucas's sister, they were all off on their own with the Russian lab and everything. Like, everybody was split up. Like, I can't speak to season 1 and season 2. I didn't rewatch. I started at season 3, so it's been a long time since I watched those. But at least from season 3, that's always kind of been the case.
I feel like season 3, it wasn't that bad, but like 4 and 5 is where it gets real bad and noticeable, especially because it's like Russia, California, Hawkins, and then now it's like Max and Holly, some of the kids together, and then the Upside Down crew, and then the other Upside Down crew. And it just gets to be so much. Like even season 3, if I'm forgetting that they did that a lot in season 3, I'm forgetting because it was not as apparent in 4 and 5.
And then Nancy and Jonathan were doing their own thing in season 3 as well.
All right, chill out, little bro. Argument's over. No, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's very apparent this season, and so I'm like, I forget just how much I do it. I hope that we have a little bit more coming together.
Sure.
Because it is the final season.
Yeah, and that's I 100% agree with that. And that's part of the reason, like, just to liken it to something else. That's why I like playing The Last of Us Part 2. Like with not spoilers for the other half of it, Benjamin. But that's why, like, with Joel dying so early on, it's like you came into this wanting to see more of them together, and you don't really get much of that apart from flashbacks. And so I hope that that's not the same kind of scenario here. Like, I get that that's the premise, been the premise the last few seasons, but like, let's keep people together here, like to a certain extent. The stakes are supposed to be higher. Let's have that be the case and feel that.
Yeah. Alrighty, we'll do a last little segment to round off this episode. We'll do a quick little draft of who we think is dying. Do we want to do like one character or two characters, or kind of like one character, one honorable mention? What are we thinking? That or little honorable mention action going for bragging rights. So let's see who gets the first pick. We're spinning the glorious wheel, and it looks like it'll be me.
Bonus points on the draft.
All right, I'll take that.
What?
If I need it, because I need it.
What?
Okay, the weighted wheel allegations are still out there, by the way.
Second pick goes to Charles. Wow.
What the
all right.
flip?
And then the third option. All right, we won't do all that. All right, so I get first round pick. With my first pick of who I think is dying in this season, I am going with 11.
What?
Thank you. All right. All right, Charles, for your selection with your second round pick.
I think I have to agree. I think Steve is getting a little bye-bye, a little bang. Steve's going bye-bye, buddy boy.
All right. Ben, your first round pick. Who you think is dying in season 5 of Stranger Things?
I'm going with Hopper.
Oh.
I think he could sacrifice himself to save 11.
Okay. See, okay. All right. After the fake out, it's hard. All right. So I had 11. Okay. Honorable mention pick. So this is kind of like if you go 2 for 2. I hesitate doing this, Robin.
Ben queued that one up, so I saw that boo, and I was like, I know this motherfucker gonna do. I saw that.
I say Robin.
Okay.
We'll see. Charleston, South Carolina.
How come nobody has picked random military soldier?
Oh yeah, that's an easy dub.
I don't think any of the kids are dying. So honestly, I could maybe see Joyce.
Ooh, Joyce.
I could maybe see Joyce. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that if that happens, but I can see that happening.
Right.
A central part of the whole show has been her wanting to save her son. So
that is true. All right, Mr. Benjamin, your honorable mention for who will die in season 5 of Stranger Things.
You guys will have to let me know if this answer flies. I'm going Vecna.
Okay, that's fair.
Sure.
Is that like
I don't think it flies.
I didn't know if we were going with good guy main characters, or
I was thinking main character. But
okay, then I'll veto that because that's a pretty that's a pretty one.
Okay.
Lucas.
Okay.
Damn, Max comes out of the coma and then Lucas dies right shortly after. Ooh, that breaks my heart, bro. That breaks my heart.
So I
have actually I will take back the kid thing. I'll add another honorable mention to me. Potentially will.
Okay, but this one doesn't count. To your point for bragging rights. All right.
I think they are not. I don't think they're going to touch most of the kids. But I think of them, the most likely is either like they finally just seal the deal with Max, or it's Lucas, in my opinion.
Interesting. I don't think it's either of them two.
If they seal the deal with Max, like what a waste of time. A waste of time.
Oh, I've been saying that since season 4. I don't know why we played that game back and forth for the last few episodes of the season.
Yeah, if she's not an important part of this season, like going forward, like I assume that she's like there's something with the cave, obviously, and that's probably going to come into play in some sort of way. But if it's really not like that big of a thing, I'm really not going to understand why we saved her, why we kept her. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sadie seems cool, but
moving on because we spent 57 minutes reviewing Stranger Things. It's crazy. We have
that Nickelodeon laugh.
All right.
Whoa! Damn. They laugh a long damn time, bro.
I actually paused it.
Moving on and getting into the end of our show recap. We're keeping the theme going with TV shows, and we are talking about, I believe it's episode 5 of Pluribus. Came out the day before Thanksgiving. Easing everybody's soul. Came out the day before Thanksgiving. Beat the Stranger Things hype. We got episode 5 out here. In 3, let us know what y'all think. 2, 1. Dang, Charley. And he was on the big pushback bus.
Yep. Last week I was. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Start talking.
What a nothing episode. I don't even know how you guys have a thumbs up. Granted, it's not a double thumbs up, but what a nothing episode, man. Like, sure, it's maybe emotionally sound for oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Helen is her dead girlfriend's name, dead wife's name. Hold on, almost there. Oh, Carol, thank you. Oh my gosh, I was gonna get there, bro. Let me get there. Let me get there.
Main character?
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Right?
I honestly didn't even think you were talking about Carol because I didn't think there was a way you would forget that.
Oh no. I mean, listen. I think it's a good episode for it showing like there are limits to what the afflicted people will handle and what they'll take. But like, we spent the entire runtime of this episode finding out what they drink, and we didn't even really find out what they drink, dude. Like it's just this random substance we don't understand, and she tracked it to 3 different warehouses, yada yada yada, and I don't know. It was sure and then we see her like having to fight a bunch of wolves that are digging up Helen's grave, and then she covers up Helen's grave with stone blocks. Like I didn't see. Maybe you guys understood the grander plan of this episode that I didn't. But I mean, it's not wavering me. I'll say that much. Like I'm still locked in for next week. But like this was why did I feel like. Almost like Benjamin's point last week. Like, this did not need to be an entire runtime of an episode. Like, we didn't do much of anything with it. I do like that what we see with the afflicted people and the how they'll keep their distance, not even like sending one up to take out her trash. Interesting, I guess, and it played for comedy as well. And I did love the little cameo from, I don't know the actor's name, but from the Better Call Saul guy. Patrick Fabian. Yes, that was cool. And to hear it multiple times, in fact, was cool. Yeah. But truthfully, it was an episode, man. Episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as previous weeks, which is like I've enjoyed it, but our momentum has slowed down immensely. So I don't know. Like my points from last week would still just be the same here. But it's still like an enjoyable show. It's really well made. The shots are really cool, and there's little moments that are very, very interesting with it. But it still is like we are taking a lot of time and not doing very much. So I would say personally, it's been almost 3 episodes of that, and it's still been like I've enjoyed each individual episode, but we also haven't gone very far, especially compared to the first 2 episodes.
I agree. I feel like last week's episode, or I say last week's, the episode before this one had a lot more to chew on. It definitely wasn't anywhere near as bland as this one was, especially to do a cliffhanger that you just don't show anything on. I don't know. This was one. Every time Brandon was like, how was the Pluribus episode? I just kept being like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know how to, like, if you didn't like any of the last week's episodes, you're probably not going to like this one. Like, I don't know. It's just, they blend together, but they also don't. And it's just such an odd bag when it comes to this. So yeah, I almost was just like, hey, why don't we just group this one and this next one together, because I really don't have much thoughts here. I've seen some like kind of maybe spoilers. Somebody was looking at the set that they built for the show, and there's like a little Easter egg in there that's maybe this may be a little bit spoilerish for what will happen in the rest of the season. So taking that into account, man, episode 6, just, I mean, we have to kick it up. We have to start kicking it into second gear, because it can get old very fast. So we all are feeling it. Charley, I'm surprised that you're feeling it as much as so. You want to avoid that, and right now it's not really looking like you can make a case for saying that this could go on for 4 seasons. So,
and dude, the ending too, man. Like, how do you get a whole episode of nothing, and then you end it on a cliffhanger? Like, hey, I know this was nothing, but we got something big that's also probably going to be nothing next week.
It's bodies
to nothing next week.
and even like I'm like, what could it be? And I'm like, okay, say it's bodies, and say they've been hiding bodies in these freezers. And like, I don't.
Who's really to say that it's not the bodies of all the people that died? Not all the people, because a lot of people died. But like, they're holding the body, like multiple freezers throughout the world. They're putting bodies in there for whatever. Maybe
what? Actually, now that I think about it, it would be kind of insane, because she was going to the facility that was making those bags of things, that
powder,
which means they could be consuming people,
drinking people.
That would be. Okay.
See, but then I need to know the deeper context of that too, which I'm sure they'll get to. But like, what does drinking people do for them? You know, like,
I think that's what the last arc will be. Yeah, like this is kind of where we're headed for the last couple episodes. So,
and see, if that's the case, then we got to also dive into they can't hurt people. So how do they get more of this if they ever run out? If they are making this drink out of people.
Yeah,
I guess if like the afflicted people, they die of old age or whatever. I don't know. However they die.
Know, buddy. Don't ask me.
Too many questions. And we won't get very many answers for this season.
Yeah. Well.
Wait. Yeah. How many? There's 9.
I want to say. 5? I thought. Is there not 8?
Oh, is there 8? Oh. There's 8 and this was 5.
Quick intermission. 9. I'm looking at it. Oh, there's 9. Okay, cool. I don't know why.
9 and this was 5. Okay.
Yeah, so we have 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's Pluribus episode 5. let's see. By the time we're recording this tomorrow, let's hope for some fun stuff. So
put that arm down, boy.
What, this arm, bro?
Okay. All right.
All righty, and taking us on to our next small segment.
That's crazy.
All right, yeah, we're just gonna ignore that. Our next little segment, because only one of us has watched this since the last time.
Calm down, Benjamin. Calm your ass down. All right, buddy.
And
we don't need to be rubbing it in too much more than Aiden did last week. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Go ahead, Ben. Tell me how much I deserve to win by, because I already won. So,
well,
tell me by how much.
Ben is the only one that has been able to go see it since I saw it last week. So, Ben, please give us your brief thoughts, maybe a score on what you thought about Wake Up Deadman. For the sake of conversation, for when Charley sees it, brief thoughts. What are you thinking, my man?
I won't be able to see it till next week when it comes out on Netflix.
I will keep it very brief. Obviously not gonna dive into any spoilers or anything. Very glad that I got to see this movie. It was a late night. My showtime started at 10:30. Totally worth it though. This is a great movie. I think it's much more of a return to form compared to the second film. It's definitely closer to the first film, just quality wise. So better than the second one. And the key thing that makes this so amazing is that instead of this movie just being about a whodunit and just being about Detective Blanc, it is very much about a main character first and foremost, which is what the first Knives Out movie did with Ana de Armas's character. And that's present here. And having that as the central driving force and also the themes of this movie, all of that I think is done very well. And even how they tie in the themes to the mystery itself, you still have plenty of your moments of Detective Blanc just doing his thing. But then there's times where they kind of allow the movie to be its own unique take on a murder mystery. So all in all, I think it was great supporting cast. I think of the three mysteries, to me, this might have been the least interesting, when all the pieces fit together.
Interesting. I feel like Glass Onion was the least interesting. I did not care. I'm like, okay, cool. Rich people on an island. You got to find out who cares. This one, I was so interested in it because of the story and how the whodunit transcends Blanc himself and all of the characters themselves. It kind of represents a lot more. So I would push back on that.
Well, I agree movie wise. I'm saying specifically the explanation of how everything in the movie happens. Specifically the mystery, I think was the most
okay.
Once I knew everything that happened, I kind of went okay, that's it. That I don't know,
okay.
it blow me away. And I remember for both of the first and second movie, there's a moment of oh my gosh, it's piecing together and this is so cool the way that all of these layers fit together and whatnot. I didn't feel that there. It was more okay, cool, makes sense.
It was more the events were impossible, but when it got to the reveal, it's it's literally just hey, this is how it was done. It's not so much a big oh, everything's making sense. It's more just, oh, that's how they did it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rewatch it when it comes out on Netflix and just specifically now that I know everything, see if that changes my perspective on the mystery and how it plays out and whatnot. But I still really enjoyed it. And also, and Aiden, you can give me your thoughts here, but Josh O'Connor, I don't know why I thought this, but if they ever were to do a live action remake of Ratatouille, he is Linguini. He is. Looks, and then as soon as I thought that, then there was a couple of lines in the movie where I was like, that just sounds like him too.
He plays kind of that like timid, like I could see that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I hope they never do a live action Ratatouille, but yeah, I agree. He blew me away. He was kind of, I think he was the one that I was the most hesitant on going into it. Because I'm like, all right, Josh Brolin, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Mont Blanc.
Jeremy Renner, Daniel Craig,
Kaylee Spaney. Like, I'm like, okay, these, like, I know they got it. Like, but Josh O'Connor, I was like, well, I didn't see Challengers. I'm probably never going to. So I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want to see. Like, this will kind of be my first test on him, and he blew me away. I really enjoyed him in the movie. What's your rating?
I went with an 8 for me personally.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Like, I did really enjoy it, but it's seriously, and like, it's a funny movie. It's pretty well paced. There was a couple of things which, like, I'm not even gonna like even tread lightly on them just for Charlie's sake. But there's a couple of things with how they did the story that felt like they added unnecessary layers just for the sake of adding layers and making the movie a little bit more like complex, just to be like more of a like, oh, this is a cool layer and how we're telling this story that really didn't serve anything other than like, let's add it just for the sake of having it. So there's like a couple of those things that just felt a little like forced to try and make this like, oh, this is really like a mystery movie that always keeps you on your toes and the way that we tell the story and whatnot. And then just between that and then not finding the mystery, like psychological thrillers or whodunit, murder mysteries, anything like that, I always am a sucker for like, give me a really cool plot twist answer. Like, when this reveal happens, I need to think that this is like some crazy cool thing that I haven't seen before. This, once it's laid out, I didn't have that moment. So I think those reasons I just have it like, I don't even think I have it like super far below anybody else. I think 8 to 9 is kind of the range, but it didn't stand out to me as much as it has to some people.
Okay, interesting. I was expecting you to be a lot higher. Yeah, I'm firm on a 9. If you want, you can go back and watch last episode's review of Wake Up Deadman that I did. I literally said all of the exact same things you said, so that makes me feel a little bit better that I'm not just sitting there speaking out of my ass or overhyping the movie. But I mean, I like it a lot more than you do, but we have a lot of the same sentiments when it comes to that. So really, it'll just be to see. Maybe Charlie's an 8.5 when he gets out of it. And at that point, it's like we're all right there. Or if he's kind of closer to you or me. So that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, it's 7th on my ranking for the year. I don't think I have as many like 9 out of 10s as you do. So it's gonna still be high up. So I'm still very happy about it.
You just, everything that I like, you take my scores, you drop it by a point. That's always where you're at if we agree on a movie. Yeah, it's 6th for me. It's right below One Battle After Another, and it's right above 28 Years Later. So
yeah, we'll have to do we'll have some year-end videos that we do that's like, the 10 best movies and ranking television shows. We're going to do some year-end recaps.
Yeah. And we'll have to go back and watch our episode of our mid-year to kind of see what we talked about there when it came to what we will do for the end of the year. We'll do the end of the year, and then that first episode or maybe the second episode in January, it's draft time, baby. So both of y'all start doing your homework now. All right. So
buddy, I'm a shoo-in.
All right, on to our next.
Gosh, you guys are so lucky. You just don't even understand, man. My town sucks, bro.
Okay,
I want to.
Charlie, can I say one more thing that you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I want to say it. Okay. I genuinely, and I mean this, I feel bad for you. and I actually thought this when I went to go see Zootopia 2, because I also went to this local theater where I saw Wake Up Deadman, and a trailer came on for Avatar Fire and Ash. And I just thought to myself, I said, there is no way in hell that I could watch Avatar Fire and Ash on this screen where I'm watching this trailer. There's just it is crazy on the spectrum of watching a movie, just a normal standard screen compared to like IMAX and IMAX 3D for specific movies like an Avatar. In that moment, I was just like, I feel bad for Charley. I can't believe that you don't get to experience some of the things that I get to experience.
Are you going to watch it in IMAX 3D or just IMAX?
Avatar?
Yeah, the first time.
Really, the only option for the first like 2 weeks is 3D.
Okay.
And so my tickets are in 3D, which I think
IMAX
I've only
3D or
ever
just 3D?
IMAX 3D.
Okay.
I think I've only ever seen the Avatar movies in IMAX 3D in theaters when they've done re-releases. I watched Way of Water twice, and then I've got my tickets for this one. But like these movies in 3D, anytime somebody's just like, oh, I hate 3D movies, I say, me too. Avatar does it. Like they are made for 3D. It works. It's actually really good. So it doesn't bother me at all that I am seeing it in IMAX 3D.
Bro,
I'm showing sympathy to you.
We're getting a Dave's Hot Chicken. Like my town sucks.
Wait, I just got a Dave's Hot Chicken.
Oh, really?
I don't have one.
Have you ever had it before?
Yeah. We never had it before. We also got Raising Cane's.
We did. We had it all in California. We got Dave's Hot Chicken that night.
No, we didn't.
Swear. Promise you.
You and Will did. Because me and Ben got a different thing.
Y'all didn't?
Yeah. I think we got
like this. Oh my God, yes.
This like Thai place or something. This like spicy.
Oh my gosh, yes. Because me and Will walked out. The dude took like 3 hours for our food.
Yeah, your guys.
Me and Will were the only ones that didn't eat.
Yeah, you guys got Dave's Hot Chicken, and ours came like real quick. Me and Ben got like this.
I remember that
Thai place or something like that.
Yeah, we just got our Dave's Hot Chicken, and then earlier this year we got Raising Cane's, which we didn't have in our town. Even our Chick-fil-A is like, I don't know, less than 10 years old.
Yeah, see, we don't have our Chick-fil-A is definitely less than 10 years old. But we don't we don't have anything. We don't have like anything cool. Like that's what the Dave's Hot Chicken. Like I had it for the first time on this the day that I proposed. Her and I had it for the first time in California. And then now they're putting one in here. But as I said, never going to get an IMAX screen because like the state that movie theaters are in right now, nobody's going to invest in a bigger screen. Nobody's going to do that. So,
dude, you gotta move. You gotta move.
Dude, I think that's like literally all I'm hearing out of everything is that your boy has to make the move somewhere. So, somewhere a little bit better. Alrighty, and then for our last big project that we're covering, last piece of media that came out that we have all seen. I think so. Charley.
I have not. No.
Okay. Me and Ben watched. That me and Ben saw, and that is Zootopia 2. Obviously, sequel to the first Zootopia. Long time coming. I think it's like almost 10 years.
9 years, yeah.
Yeah. Almost 10 years in the making. We finally got it. We watched it. Our thoughts in 3. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema.
Charley, really? It's great. It's really good.
It is so good.
Well, what did you guys think about the first Zootopia?
Absolutely loved it. I think these are... Oh, really? I think these are like both just solid 8s, like right here.
I might have the second one a little bit higher than the first one, personally.
Really?
I'm still at an 8 for the second one.
Yeah. I'm at an 8 for both of them, and I actually think the first one still remains my favorite. There's qualities, and the reason why they're both at an 8 is just I truly can't put one over the other. If I had to, gun to my head, I think the first one I would say that I like more. But I have them both at 8s because there's qualities that I like in both that I don't like in the other, and those kind of flip flop for me. One of the main things, obviously, I know the sheeps were like the big villain of the first movie, right? And but I feel like more of the focus was on Judy and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name.
Nick.
Nick. Yes, I knew it was an N. Maybe it was what Charley said earlier in the private chat.
That's
no, I know.
Dude, out of
so I like that it's focused on the journey of Judy and Nick, right? And that is kind of what we are focused on. And then the sheeps have been pulling the strings, but like that comes and goes, and then we're back to our story. But now that they're established, I'm not the biggest fan of the format of this one, and I'll leave it there for spoilers' sake, taking all that into account. I'm not the biggest fan of the format here. They still have their character moments, and they still find ways to, like, hey, they're established. We can't do a lot of character work here, so like let's bring in these outside factors or these side characters, and then let's have it all kind of meet. I wish they would have even cut out some of the side characters to just focus on them and their journey of having to sit in partner classes, and then not really focusing on a lot of that and having their big moment, which still brought a tear to my eye. And then, the rest of it, I wish they would have just focused on like, hey, how do we come together and fix this? Instead, they have like the little moment happen. They have all the side characters play a big part in all of it. We have our moment and we continue on. So I feel like what I love about the first movie is that it's just Judy and Nick, and we get to see that, and we get to see their journey while figuring all this stuff out. And we don't have a lot of side character interruption. In this one, we have a lot of side character interruption. We don't get a lot of just Judy and Nick and their journey. So there's a lot of back and forth that I can do. Again, their moment in this movie was infinitely better, I think, than their moment in the first one. I absolutely adored everything about that scene and how tense it was. And so, yeah, I think they're both right there, neck and neck at 8. But I love the first movie. So, but I'm glad that we're both there for Zootopia 2.
Oh yeah, no, this movie was funny, genuinely. Very, very meta, like references, like so many references to pop culture, really old movies, even like there's a reference to The Shining in this that was pretty funny. That like even Reagan didn't get. She saw me react to it, and she's just like, what is this? And I said, this is a reference to The Shining. Like, what are we doing? So it was very meta and very funny in like a genuine way. Like there's a couple of like, oh, this is jokes because it's like a kid movie or whatever. But for the most part, a lot of it was like genuine, funny, meta humor. Like it was really well done. It's not like a Minions movie or anything like that. I agree with the story. They retreaded some ideas in this movie, just like they did in the first. There's a moment that is like just so tongue-in-cheek towards the end of this movie, where it's very like explicitly stated, like this thing happened in the first movie and then this thing happens again. It's like, it's just so in your face, which like I saw what was happening a mile away. So but for everything that I would point out as like a fault of the story, I was really able to look past the story because I think the emotional moments and the character moments between Judy and Nick were actually handled really well, in my opinion. Yeah. I thought that like them kind of being forced along this journey and just the dynamic of like Nick is willing to just kind of give things up to save himself and is willing to leave the case, is willing not to figure out what's happening. And then Judy, her just like persistence at, needing to continue to look into information and find evidence and to keep figuring out what happened. I thought that dynamic back and forth and ultimately that coming to, a big conclusion and eruption throughout the movie was done really well. So it's one of those things where like the character's journey is really the main journey that we're on. And then like the plot of what's happening is more like a vehicle. And I think that balance was done really, really well in this. Cause I kind of thought everything with like Gary the snake, like everything that was tied into him and that whole story was pretty just like standard issue. But all of that is what allowed us to go on this journey with Nick and Judy, which I thought was really good. So I was a big fan of it. Emotional moments were great. It was very funny. And when I finished it, I just said like, wow, I don't know the last time I watched a Disney movie and felt this way. Like, maybe Encanto. Like it probably has been 4 years.
You didn't like Inside Out too?
I did really like Inside Out too. But I don't know what it was about this movie that felt a little bit more like classic Disney Pixar than Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 was great, but it didn't have as much of a Disney feel, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think it's good. I think it's good in its own right, but it's almost a separate thing in my brain. So
that's fair.
I don't think that this movie and Inside Out 2 are like that far apart with where I would give them score wise. So both very good and in recent years, just like, some of the better Disney movies.
Yeah. It's in my top 10 of the year. Big fan of it. It's right below Thunderbolts and right above Predator Badlands, which again, those are two movies that I'm higher on than at least Ben. I know for sure. So I had a great time with it. I had a lot of fun. Anytime I can see them go on an adventure and just have those tears get brought to my eye is always a pleasant thing. So it was part of like one of the most fun nights I've had in a while, which was just going to Zootopia and then going and binge watching Stranger Things the rest of the night. And so, it was fun. I'm glad that I watched it, and I'm glad I watched the first one literally right before the showtime for the second one. This is a lot of fun. Nice little Breaking Bad reference in there. And so that was really cool because my wife had not watched, when she watched the first Zootopia, she hadn't watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, obviously. So whenever that happened, she like perked up. She was like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I finally get that now. And I was like, oh dude, that's sick. I didn't even know that was in here. So that was really cool.
There's so much. It landed as my 12th favorite of the year so far.
12th. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll go down a couple of spots with some movies we have coming up here shortly.
Oh, I'm sure.
Pretty confident it will move down 2 places.
Probably for me. Yeah. Oh yeah, 2 places. There you go. Avatar and Marty Supreme or what?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, awesome. Well, that was our Zootopia review. Let's get into what we watched this week. And then wrap this bad boy up. And I also want to spin the wheel one more time at the end to determine who gets to pick what for our recommendation gifts for next week's episode, since that's going to be an episode where we won't have a whole lot to. We'll come next week, or we'll come next week with recommendations. The week after that, we'll come with.
Are we doing
reviews?
Are we doing like one a week where like this week I recommend you and Charlie, then next week you recommend Charlie and I? Like, are we just doing like one of us each week gets to recommend the other two?
What I was thinking was I spin the wheel. So say it lands on me and then say it lands on Ben, say it lands on you. I'm recommending you a movie. And then we do the same thing. You might recommend me one, recommend Charlie one. And then next week, we come with the recommendations. And then the week after, we come with the reviews. That was my thought.
Okay. Oh boy. Can't wait to watch something.
Give us a little
stupid.
time.
Can't wait to watch something stupid.
The goal is not dumb recommendations. The goal is, hey, you haven't seen this movie and we've been trying to get you to for a while, so here, watch this movie.
I already know.
That's kind of.
I feel like I know what each of yours is going to be for me.
No.
Aiden, are you sure? You might be forgetting one that I think that you would tell me.
Really? A movie?
Yeah.
I definitely am. Then.
What comes to mind? I mean, don't tell me, but like you have one in your mind that immediately comes to mind that you tell me specifically?
Yeah, but now that I think about it, I don't know if I would waste.
I
don't know if I would waste this on you just because I'm like, it's one that like beginning of the year I was like, y'all need to watch this, y'all need to watch this, and then y'all never watched it, and so now I'm just kind of like, it's still my 4th favorite movie of the year. But I'm like, I don't think they'll really care. The more I think about it, I don't think they'll really give a fuck about this movie. So
okay, then maybe we're on different.
But maybe you.
I know what Ben should tell Aiden.
Oh, I already know what he's gonna. If he gets me, I already know what he's gonna tell.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. Well,
that's the only one I know. I actually don't have one for Charley like immediately.
Well, that's why I want to give us a week to think because maybe something else will come to mind, and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna give him this. It could even be a movie that you haven't even watched before. At that point, you know, you can just kind of have fun with it, or actually.
I want them to test the movie for me.
Yeah, I want them to.
I kind of want to watch this, but
watch 12 Angry Men for me. Like, these are most random.
Yo, go check out Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
All right, Ben, I got you, bro. I didn't watch a lot this week. I finished Smiling Friends. I believe season 3 is over, which is a bummer because it was keeping me entertained every Monday morning. It was the absolute best. So, you know, that's kind of unfortunate. Watched the first Harry Potter the other day while just kind of, you know, it's kind of background. So, you know, I wasn't paying the most attention. We were playing games and whatnot. And so think that's about it. I wasn't watching a lot. This week was a lot of just catching up on stuff and then, you know, just relaxing finally with the wife because we haven't had time to do that like in the past couple weeks. So as I get a little bit more free time, I think we're going to St. Louis this weekend. I'll catch some more stuff and I'll catch some more movies and stuff. So that I can come with a lot more. I really want to watch it. Welcome to Derry, but I can't convince her to watch it with me. So it's just kind of one of those things where like, am I really going to spend a lot of time watching this on my own or just wait till it all comes out? And in the meantime, watch some stuff that's been on my watch list for a while. So yeah, I hate to be, hate to come back empty handed again, but it's all I've been up to this week.
I think the only other thing that I watched other than what we talked about is Welcome to Derry, because I've been keeping up with it week to week. I've been really enjoying it so far. I think it will make me appreciate the movies a little bit more because like the second movie, they made some creative choices and now like the show is able to kind of go back and explain how some of it makes a little bit more sense because it's a prequel. So I like a lot of what they're doing. I like a lot of the characters. Each week has been a good balance of like things happening versus scares. I can understand why some people would be disappointed in it because it's like, it's not just about Pennywise because Pennywise the clown, like that is not what it is. So I can understand why some people would maybe be a little bit let down, but I've been really enjoying it so far. I think episode 6 was the one that just came out. So there's 2 more weeks of the show coming out for this season. And I've been digging it, been enjoying it a lot, but I'm pretty sure, I think that's the only other thing that I saw just between Wake Up Deadman, Stranger Things, and Zootopia and Thanksgiving weekend. It's like hard to find time for anything else.
Fair enough, brother. That's what I said. Don't take my words, please. But what have I been watching? Finished that Chair Company comedy show. Final episode came out. Tim Robinson. honestly, really weird ending. I mean, it got renewed for season 2, so we'll be there to watch that for sure. But like, what a strange way for that season to end. But I don't know, whatever. I saw the new Jonas Brothers Christmas movie. I was like, you know what? Let me give this let me give this a shot and see if they still have the Camp Rock flame or whatever. And nope, it was real bad. It wasn't good, not at all. The songs especially sucked. Like, if the songs are anything like that in Camp Rock 3, wrap that shit up, man. Wrap it up. Make sure that we never, like, it can't get a mass release at that point. Like, that's just, it's insane. And we went to the theater last weekend, the weekend before Thanksgiving weekend, and saw one of my most anticipated movies of the year, at least when I found out that it was coming out, Eternity, with Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, and I forget the other guy's name. But I think he's up for there's rumors he's going to be the next James Bond. But anyway, it's a movie about where basically you die and you have to choose where you're going to spend your eternity. There's like a bunch of different options of like, oh, you can live in the mountains for eternity. You can live in the suburbs for eternity. You can live in Hawaii and on the beach for eternity, yada, yada, yada. And so the premise is Elizabeth Olsen's character, she died when she was old, and her husband, her current husband, Miles Teller's character, they both died when they were old, just of old age. She died of cancer. He choked on something, whatever. And then when they get to the afterlife, she runs into her very first husband who died in the Korean War way back when. And so she has to choose which of those two guys that she wants to spend eternity with. And so a whole like love triangle thing ensues and yada yada. And I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was like, obviously it's like I'm a sucker for like romance stuff. You guys know this. It is like a run of the mill like love triangle movie, but I like the messages within it, and like you think that you expect one thing to be happening because of the way that they introduce things throughout the movie, and they start to happen, but they flip it on your head, and I don't know. I think it's good stuff, and there's a lot of good messages about love and everything like that within the movie. So I really enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10 or something like that.
Wow.
It was really good for me. Maybe an 8. It was really enjoyable. But I think that's it for me. Might have been another TV show in there that I started, but haven't really gotten too far into. So doesn't matter.
Well, what an eventful week that we all had, huh?
Okay.
What a great episode. I mean, I'm glad that we're in here. We didn't take any more time off. It's the busy season and it's just going to get busier. So we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. In the meantime, between Stranger Things, we'll end this off with our nice little wheel.
We'll end it off with real quick, just a little bit of proof that Charley wins. Charley wins. Who could have seen it coming? Oh, Charley could have. I'll tell you that much. Charley could have seen it coming. Charley wins the draft. For all of our audio listeners, Charley ran away with the list. Truthfully, it's just it's quite embarrassing for these two. Charley knew he had it in him the whole year. Truthfully, he never doubted himself at all. So it's nice to be here. I just want to thank my family, my beautiful fiance, supporting me throughout this whole journey. It was kind of tough there. The times when I thought like, oh man, I want to get max amount of points for this, but like The Last of Us let me down. There are a couple times where like, hey, you can hold your applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. But I plan to come back next year even stronger, and with an even stronger lineup behind me, and we'll get there. We'll take it all the way. Get to the championship.
Okay. All right, Charley. Congratulations, my boy.
Yeah,
you came from behind. You came from behind.
Whoa.
No.
Because
oh yeah. My boy picked himself up by his bootstraps after Ben, we thought, had it in the bag.
True, we did.
Honestly, probably should have had it in the bag with the projects that he had. Andor was possibly the greatest thing that we saw all year. So that alone says a lot.
Sure. and it was the 5th pick. Crazy.
Yeah, and it was the 5th pick. So, there's a lot of things there to take into account. It was a fun draft. Your boy, not my greatest performance. I'll come back next year. I've had my head down the rest of the year, trying to make up for it. Well,
bro, he's been out in the field in the gym, bro. He's been grinding.
But maybe finishing in last place gets me that back-to-back pick. So maybe I have that to look forward to. Congratulations, Charley. It's
yeah, thank you. I'm glad you could put your pride aside, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it's a big deal. Our first annual one is it's a big deal.
Yeah, what can I say? I will say, I mean, it's not. I'm not technically like the official winner yet. Like technically, it ends but like just judging by how the points are laid out, Aiden's not gonna get that much more from the audience score for Marty Supreme. So, and Benjamin's tapped out. He's been tapped out. So
yeah, I mean, I have 10 points to come up with. I don't know. Even if Stranger Things gets to 90-90, that's 2 extra points.
Yeah.
I would need 5 from Marty Supreme, like not counting the audience score. So, yeah, I had a couple blunders. I could have easily won this thing if I just dropped the bear and put Avatar, and I was that close to doing it, and I didn't. So, or if I just dropped the bear and put Marty Supreme in its place and still had Avatar to come. So, a lot of blunders on me. But you know what? It makes me feel good that I could have been first place. Just a couple of picks away. So.
Wait, what is it? How's the Avatar look? Because honestly, I saw 2 short little Twitter reviews today, and they were not good. So
I saw some
to the last one.
Yeah, I saw some that said that it's the best. Honestly, the lowest I think it goes is 80-80, which is infinitely better than what the bear did for me. So sure. I mean, that at least
audience score could be even higher. To be honest,
audience score could be even higher. So. I think that would give me the dub. Marty Supreme is going to review extremely well. I mean, it's at a 96. It's at a 96. Anyways, congratulations, Charley, on winning our first annual draft. Yeah. We'll have to figure out some kind of first place compensation.
Plan my compensation for next year too. While you're at it, just
some head probably from Ben. So. Head from second place.
Sign the contract. You're Charley. I got a pen.
This boy really is Will. That's crazy.
Oh my god! All right, now for our recommendation, Will. We're gonna figure this out as we go. I still don't fully know how this will work, but we can anything to bring the wheel out, right? So. Let's take a nice little look-ski at this. Okay, so I'll spin the wheel and we'll see who that person is recommending for. So this is just to see who we're looking at, take their name off, and then, all right, Ben, you are going to be recommending a movie for either me or Charley. All right, let this thing, finish lagging a little bit. You are going to be recommending a movie for me or Charley. At that point, I think we can kind of see how the order will go. Say you pick me, say the wheel lands on me. I obviously recommend a movie to Charley. Charley recommends one to you, vice versa, yada, yada, yada. You get how it goes. So, Ben, your Christmas present, the person that you are shopping for in this next week and bringing a recommendation for, is Charley.
Shoot.
Wow. Okay. So, Ben, next week, your objective is to come with a recommendation for Charley, a movie for Charley to watch. And he has to watch it in episode 118. He comes back and he gives you his review for it. Now, since Charley is recommending a movie, or Ben is recommending a movie for Charley, I think the only way that this could work is, Charley, you got to recommend something for me.
Yeah.
And Ben, I will recommend something for you. So Ben, I got a Christmas present for you. Charley has one for me. Ben, you got one for Charley. Next week, we'll do our recommendations reveal.
Baby girl, Aiden. Baby girl.
Oh, hell no. Next week,
kind of upset that I don't get to force Aiden to watch
Upgrade. It was going to be
watch
Upgrade.
Hey, maybe next holiday season when we do this again.
Maybe I'll make Aiden watch Upgrade. Who knows? Because I like Upgrade.
Yeah. We'll see. But you have infinite pick, bro. Like,
you really don't want
infinite pick.
Charley, you sure you want to do that, bro? You have a whole option, a whole array, bro.
Charley, I think I know what you were talking about earlier and what you think would come to mind to recommend.
I don't want to say.
Oh yeah, what do you think I would recommend you, Charley?
The Ballad of Wallace and Gromit, whatever what is it called?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is the
That's
one.
What I was. Yeah.
Ballad of Wallace Island. Yeah.
Wallace Island. Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit. You're tweaking. Yeah. So next week we'll reveal our recommendations, and then the week after that, episode 118, we'll come back with reviews for said projects or said movies. So that'll be fun. That'll be something to keep an eye out for. If you're watching and you've made it this far, keep an eye out for that. Draft coming up soon. We're weeks away from it, but we'll be here soon. Marty Supreme, Avatar, and Stranger Things is on the docket for the next couple of weeks. So I'm sure there will be some other projects that slip in there and whatnot. We'll be here to cover them all. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for showing any love. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. Let us read your comment out loud on the next episode. I think that'd be fun, right? And I'm sure you think it would too. I know you're considering typing and leaving a comment. So just I give you the go ahead. Let's go. So thank you for watching. This has been Words from Nerds Podcast. We will see you in the next one. Peace.
Adios.
Sayonara.